So I had an appointment to go and get my wisdom tooth taken out, and because I was in so much pain, I was in a rush. I didn't look at the distance of the place, and it's 30 miles away, so I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'm gonna deal with more tooth pain for forever because I can't make it to there. That's the only place that'll actually help me out. So I'm stuck with this tooth forever. But imagine it. I'm gonna end up to, if I'd get them, if I can't talk right. If I were to be spending thousands of dollars to get my tooth taken out, why can't they also include in the bill like a ride to get to the place? I'm dealing with an emergency. My freaking tooth is killing me. Like, why is that not included in the bill? It's like $60. So you're gonna be spending $2,000, but can't put $60 into it. So I've been dousing my mouth in salt water. Hopefully that's gonna fix it. So I need to get a bag of salt. Maybe I'll make some jokes with it, So I've had to douse my mouth for the last 5 or 6 hours straight with salty liberal tears, and it has helped my wisdom tooth. It relieved the pain. I took your guys' advice. I like it. If you want to help support me, buy me a coffee at Godfinger. Maybe you can help support getting this tooth out. I hope this keeps working. Imagine that, though. You get an infection in your mouth and you can't get that fixed. I don't have an infection. I just have a lot of pain. When I use that hydrogen peroxide, it probably like dug its way deeper into the actual root. And I thought I rinsed it out enough, but it is what it is. Well, now I can't get help. I've called 6 different places because I couldn't get to a place that's 30 miles away. I can't get my tooth fixed because I'm limited to 20 miles on this thing. Going 60 freaking miles, dude, I'd be on my feet. I can't do that. I can't make it to go get my tooth fixed. Oh well. But if people are in emergency situations, imagine this. You can't get a ride to the place included into the bill. So if I'm going to owe thousands of dollars to get my tooth taken out, they can't include an Uber ride in that cost. The problem is not giving people free money. It's we got to fix this fucking system. That's why Trump's removing regulations, because all this shit is just too much red tape, bureaucracy. You got people sitting in desks all day. They don't do anything but fucking sit in a desk. They'd be better off not paying them. Helping somebody that actually fucking needs help. Instead of paying people for free, you should fucking sit in a desk. So people sitting in the desks ain't doing anything to fix anything. You're sitting there eating up all the money, buying Starbucks every fucking day. It's stupid. Thanks for the free cash, government cash, whatever the fuck it is. I shouldn't be doing this. Smoke a cigarette. Oh god, dude. But I doused it took like 4 hours, 5 hours dousing my mouth in salt water just to get rid of the pain. Better off paying out of pocket for services. Where's the money? I don't have money, dude. I got a 20-mile fucking range e-bike. I got a busted back that prevents me from working a full fucking day. I can't even be on my feet for that long. I can't get help. I can't get disability because I'm not getting treated already. Because I don't have the money to get treated, I can't get treated. The system's broke. The system is broken. Don't give free money out to everybody. We don't need to give free fucking money. We need to fix the fucking system. You can't include $60 fucking bill into the payment plan. That's insane. For an emergency, the system is broken. That's what we need to be talking about. We're going to be handing out everybody fucking money. I'm not yelling at you, by the way. I'm just saying, like, it blows my mind, the ignorance of society right now, that they don't see these problems because they're not dealing with these problems. You can't just sit there and say, oh, whatever, it's not my problem today. No, it's not your problem today, but their problem becomes your problem. That's what's going on with society. I'm not saying give free shit to everybody. I'm not saying, be the hero in every situation, but bro, it would have been a lot better if people were acting better on the fucking road, if people paid attention on the road, didn't hit me with their fucking car. Just follow the fucking laws. Or at least just don't get into people's ways. Don't harm people. Don't make it your goal to harm people. That's the problem. It's the simplest problem to fix too. Just be decent to each other. That's not hard. If you're doing things to antagonize people and aggravate people, then you're the fucking problem. You're likely the fucking reason why I'm stuck in this situation. Somebody sitting on their phone takes a left fucking turn, slams me with their vehicle. Like, bro, pay attention. Leaving traffic cones out in the road, in an unlit area of the road, like, that's completely against the law. No wonder the younger me didn't really care about the law very much and did whatever the fuck I wanted to do. But I didn't harm anyone in doing so. That's the difference. So the reason why God has not destroyed my mouth with an inflated infection in my face is because he's sparing me, because it's supposed to be a learning experience, but not just for me, for the collective, everybody. When you see a problem, you're in this world with me. You're here with me. We're in the same world. You have a problem, I'm going to have to pay attention to it. I got a problem, you have to pay attention to it. People have to recognize each other's issues. If you can't fix the problem, then you can't fix the problem. There's plenty of rich people out there that could just wave a wand, ding, that will turn into a deadly infection. It's nothing to play with. That's what you would have said about this one. This one's almost completely gone. I got this one's under the gum. Hasn't bothered me in a long time. So no, on the contrary, I've actually ripped out most of my other wisdom tooth at the top. I got both of my bottoms taken out at the dentist. One of them, no Novocaine, nothing for the pain. I'm like, I'm already dealing with enough pain. I don't need that. And they were like, you're crazy. And I was like, I don't need it. Just do it. I don't want to pay that extra amount for Novocaine. That's when I was like 19. So when I was 19, I got a wisdom tooth taken out of my mouth, no Novocaine. And then, because I was like, well, I don't want to play Russian roulette here. Let's go ahead and throw Novocaine in the next one. So they put Novocaine shot in the next one. But yeah, luck always runs out. I speak from experience. I once thought that too, and then it happened. Well, I can't do anything about it. I can't get it fixed. I can't go 30 miles. I can't ride my bike 60 miles. I don't have a car. I don't have fucking tools I need. I don't have what I need to get done what I need to get fucking done. Everybody just run around in circles like, yay, it's time to celebrate every fucking day of their lives. They don't pay attention to, somebody that's on the road. Dude, I was in the breakdown lane. Somebody's being aggressive to me. I'm like, fuck the breakdown lane. I'm not legally obligated to sit in that breakdown lane. So we want to really talk about, something that truly affects me the most right now is people not respecting and sharing the road with bicyclists. The breakdown lane is not a bike lane. If it is not a designated lane that has a bike picture on it and stuff, that is a shoulder. I am not obligated to ride that at all. Go ahead and ask AI why, after a wreck, there is wreckage left on the side of the road, on the shoulder and everywhere else. Ask it. And it will tell you, because they are not obligated to clean up the shoulder. They're not obligated to clean up in the grass. The cleanup crew is only responsible for what's in the roadway. If it's a bike lane, they're supposed to be obligated to fix that, because that's a lane. That's a traveling lane. But shoulders of the road there's no obligation to keep that clean. That's why it's not clean. People leave their entire wreckage on the shoulder of the road. All right. Now that means that I asked AI. I'm like, well, that means that I shouldn't be expected to be on the road, right? And I was asking from a moral perspective, just to prove my point. You know, I shouldn't be expected to be on the shoulder of the road on my bike. I mean, I got weaker tires than the car. But that was just from a moral perspective, right? From a legal perspective, I am not obligated to be on that shoulder of the road. So if I'm in the road, if I'm on the side of the road, you're supposed to give me 3 feet of space. And if you do not, and I catch you on camera, I can report your ass. These are actions that I don't want to be bothered with. I don't want to go around reporting people. I don't want to be vigilante. Folks on bikes supposed to stop at stop sign, etc., but never do. What does that have to do with anything? That has zero to do with what I just said. You're at a stop sign about 1.1% of the time that you were on the road. That 99.99.9 per whatever percent, the majority of the time that you're on the road, you're riding down a road, okay? Has nothing to do with a stop sign. You're just bringing up things that are completely irrelevant. Yeah, bikes don't stop at stop signs because in a sense, what are they going to go after? You know, if you're riding a regular bicycle, it's like you're already stopped, okay? If you are slowing down at the stop sign, you're doing a rolling stop and you're on a bike, a cop's not going to bust you for that. If you're stopping at a stop sign, or if you're not stopping at a stop sign, you're just going, and you don't look anywhere, you don't slow down to check, that's when it becomes a problem. I don't see that becoming a problem for too many people. So you're just kind of just throwing shit at the wall. Riding on a road with a bike trail right there, well, called stupid, you're not supposed to ride motorized vehicles on the bike trail. So now you're suggesting to do something that could be illegal in many people's cases if they're on a motorized bike, which is my case. I'm on a motorized bike. I don't go over a certain speed limit. It's 25. So you're not supposed to go over 25 on the bike trail. Simple as that. In fact, I think it's 15 during curves. It's like, so no, you don't suggest that either. You could ride the trail that y'all had to have, but instead you ride. I didn't have to have it. I didn't ask for the bike trail, bro. What are you talking about? Y'all had to have it, bro. I rode a bike not on bike trails, going to work back and forth for 9 years of my life going into adulthood. Okay. Then I got a car and I rode and I rode and I rode and I rode. I did Uber. I had multiple jobs and I rode a lot. Okay. I drove in a vehicle. I was in a vehicle. My vehicle broke down. That's why I'm on a bike again. I didn't choose to be on a fucking bike. I was working my ass off and getting woke up while I was in the fucking thing, while I was trying to sleep before I go to work the next day. Because somebody doesn't agree with my fucking sleep, my actual sleep schedule, where I was working at night and resting during the day. I was saving my money, but paved bike paths are there for bikes. So there's not a paved bike path on most of these roads that I'm describing. There's zero paved bike path, dude. I'm doing a fucking job. Like, don't you know I'm a DoorDasher? So I hope you guys like this. I made that yesterday. I had to make these backwards. These letters are drawn backwards. No, I didn't use a stencil. It's just insane how ignorant people are to what's actually going on out there. And if you keep making excuses for being stuck in the fucking Stone Age, then you're part of the problem. Okay? We're all stuck in the Stone Age right now. Can't include a $60 part of the bill to get somebody in an emergency situation to get their teeth fixed when they're going to be paying thousands of dollars. That's insane. How is that not like an issue that you'd be maybe piggybacking on and making more conversation about? You're talking about the bikes. I mean, I brought up the bikes after the fact. So I made this to attach to my bag so people can actually read my channel name. But wait, just Godfinger alone, that's not really, important enough. So I had to make that too. YouTube. It's like, I know it's not supposed to have all capital letters like that, but have you tried not being so angry all the time? You would be angry too, and you were angry when you had a bad tooth. I'm pretty angry. Many people fuck me over and they just keep laughing about it. So I think that was a pretty good @ symbol, but it's backwards, so you can't see it. I used to be the happiest person you've ever met in your life until people fucked with me. I have a reason to be mad. No, I doubt that. This person's trying to say that while they had a bad tooth, that they weren't angry. But they also haven't lived my life, so they haven't seen the other shit that's happened. You get swerved at on the road and you're in the breakdown lane where you shouldn't even be. Yeah, you might be a little angry. In the same week that you break your toe because a safety cone was sitting out in the middle of the road. When it shouldn't have even been there. It shouldn't have been on the road at all because it was in an unlit section of that road. You're not able to see those cones. So they realized where they fucked up, and they had to move the cones into the grass. Now I go back to that same spot, and the cones are in the grass. So I split my toe in half. I busted my fucking knuckle. I couldn't walk for a straight week. That was just recent. That was just a week and a half ago. I've been able to walk fine for the last 2 days almost fine. Yeah, I'm a little fucking angry. I'm healing from a broken bone too. Buddy, my dad self-deleted when I was 16 as life decided to screw me so young, so I worked hard and made it successful. Life is what you make, obstacles and all. Yeah, but you're an obstacle right now. You're not actually, you're just being an obstacle, so you're part of the problem. Like, what are you talking about right now? I'm talking about building. I'm talking about actual issues that can be solved if people are aware of what the fucking law is. I'm not obligated to be in the shoulder of the road. Case closed. Case closed. There's no argument behind it. You're not going to threaten my life while you're in those boxes that you don't even own because you haven't even paid them off yet. Bro, you're not going to do that and then act like it's not a problem. That's not... Go read The Secret. So right now I'm the one talking. You're sitting there texting, typing. You're not really providing a conversation. I am actually having a conversation right now. Okay? Everything I own is bought and paid for, but thanks. Lucky you. Anyways, so what we're seeing is total inefficiency, and we're stuck in caveman time still. Somebody with an emergency can't get to the place. Like when I had to get my knee checked out and my back checked out for MRIs, I did get rides. That wasn't necessarily an emergency. It was something important, but it wasn't an emergency. They got me a ride to go do that. But a dental emergency, something that can cause an infection and end your life, that's not important enough for somebody to include that into the billing? Like, come on. That should be pretty easy to include into the whole system of getting somebody helped. The other part I said about this is, I can't stand for long periods of time, especially now with my busted foot. But I can't stand and be upright for long periods of time. Like, I'm on these live streams sometimes for 5 hours. I have to go rest after that. Sitting upright like this isn't even good for me. But because I'm not getting help, because I'm not already getting treatment and sucking from the government, I don't qualify for disability. As I'm continuing to try to work, I'm doing everything that I can to continue trying to work. There's a problem with the system. Those who need help are not getting help. Those who don't need the fucking help are just rigging the system. You got 19 to 22-year-olds all owning medical cards to buy weed. What the fuck? That's it. 19 to 22-year-olds are like the majority of the people getting the medical cards to go buy the weed. That's the stats. That's not everybody who needs it has it. There's a problem with the system. There's a problem with the system. We all should already know this. If you just keep ignoring it, like, whatever, it's not my problem today, then there's going to be a problem that you have, that the system broke, and it's going to affect you at some point, okay? Give you an example. So the emergency contact number, 9 and the other two numbers, was unreachable in some areas of the country just the other day. So if you had an emergency during that time, 911 wasn't actually accessible. That's a problem. There's a problem with the system. There should always be a backup system. It's a good way to prep, though. So get your local, like, sheriffs and hospital numbers and stuff like that. You get those local numbers rather than actually just depending on that emergency number. So that's a good way to prep. Why it's legal all over? It's not actually legal all over. It's I'm in Florida, so it's still illegal. I have to buy these vape pens from a shop, and it's not even THC. I need actual THC. It's not doing everything for me. I probably wouldn't be feeling the pain if I had actual THC in my system, but yeah, so you're stuck in Florida and can't get your shit, get what you need, whatever. The whole system's broke, though, and what's broken today in this state can be broken tomorrow in that state once they change just one protocol. Like, you don't understand. People need to speak out when they see a problem or offer help. They can't offer help, speak out about the problem, and understand the issue. You're a person that says, well, you, like, says, you haven't done any donating or anything. I got to buy me a coffee at Godfinger. If you guys want to buy me a coffee, you can. If you don't want to donate and help me, you can help me being here in this audience by spreading the word and understanding what that word is. That's what I'm trying to get straight. Stop being ignorant to what's actually going on. Bicyclists are not legally obligated to be on the shoulder of the road. There's people that need help that are not getting help. There's people that have access to things and they don't actually need the access to things, but there's other people that actually need that access and they can't get it. There's problems with this system. And that's what Trump was coming in to do. His number one thing for me was bringing the truth, giving the truth back to the people, showing the truth to the people. And if everyone's truth was exposed, that's with this all Palantir and everything, the data collection, if everybody's truth was exposed at once, there would be in a lot different of a situation. That's what's going to happen, by the way. If my prediction is correct, then what we're going to deal with in the future is a fully transparent data set on everyone. All of your internet data that's been collected for the past decade. Everything. It's going to be accessible by everyone. That's in the dream world, at least. In the worst case scenario is that only the elites, the elite selected groups, the selected law enforcement groups will have access to this information. You won't. So you need to move. Yeah, I know, right? I'm in a country that we don't call that number. What? Yeah, you might be in Britain, exactly. You watch Breakfast with Beau? He's cool. It's Florida. When I had my place in Fort Myers Beach, you were talking about that before. I could knock on any door and get whatever I needed. Bro, I wouldn't chance that. I don't knock on people's doors, bro. I tried to knock on somebody's door to ask if they were throwing away a sofa, a freaking futon. I wanted the frame. 3 cops. 3 fucking cops surrounded me. I don't knock on people's door. No, that's not allowed. So what you're thinking is that the world is still the way it was when you were doing things. It's not. You're not even allowed to knock on people's doors. Like, you old folks, you aren't living in today's world. You're not dealing with the same issues that we are dealing with. Yeah, that's not good. Covered head to toe in tattoos. That's not good, man. Yeah, you're fucking 52. Yeah, you're living in a different, like, when you did things were different. You know, there were jobs that were accessible you could do for a few hours, and you know, you could actually, you know, get cash for it. That doesn't exist anymore. You're not allowed to do that. I've asked places, like, I can't work a full day for you, but let me work for you, you know, under the table or something. You know, why do I get to, you know, get all wrapped up in this and shit and everything? I knocked last year. Yeah, you're crazy. You're crazy. You got lucky. You talk about luck with this shit. Like, that's luck, dude. You're lucky that you didn't get, you know, blasted. What are you doing at my door? You close to Fort Myers Beach, I hook you up. I don't have money, dude. I don't even have money for a $30 examination. The dentist is like, yeah, well, we can still get you in for a $30 examination. I'm like, bro, you're really just trying to sell me on this right now? They're trying to sell me an examination. I'm like, I need the fucking tooth pulled. Yeah, of course, examine it, but I need the fucking tooth pulled. It's insane, dude. I got discriminated for my ink. Like I said, I have, yeah. So I shouldn't be knocking on people's doors. Not in today's society, bro. Like, if you're knocking on people's doors and they got an Amazon Ring camera, you're worried about your identity being taken and held. Well, that's yours. That's your identity right there. But after asking to take something that was at the edge of the road, trying to knock on somebody's door to take something at the edge of their driveway, and getting 3 cops called on me, I don't knock on doors anymore. Hell no. We're living in a different time. I've seen people going back to their traditional ways. I'm not going to say that nobody's trying, but I'm saying it's not enough people are trying. You know, there's people that are doing the right things. I see it. I hugely appreciate it. Next time I see them, wave to them. Because, you know, damn, I noticed that. Thank you. It's hard to remember customers, to be honest. You know what I realized is I might see some of my customers and I don't even recognize them because I don't look around and find people anymore. I'm totally like a loner. No, there's people out there that are doing the right thing, but even they need to speak out. You know, without communication, we can't get anything fixed. To get fixed. You know, I told everybody on my stream there was a fucking cop at a specific time of the day, drove by me. There were people watching. Drove by me, did not give me 3 feet of space at all. Going 45 miles per hour, I was going like 20. This person almost killed me. Now, if I wanted, I can go and report that because I caught it on camera. I know the time, the specific location. If I wanted, I can get that cop in trouble. Absolutely. I asked AI, I'm like, is that a possibility? And they said, absolutely. So I don't know what this salt is doing. I hope it's like, I don't know, man. Imagine like a salt dome. AI is taking over the world, bro. When I was calling one of these places, they said that the call is being recorded for whatever the normal thing that they say, and then they said AI training data. So if you proceeded with the call, which I did, it went into the AI training data, and that's why I fucking reamed him out. So the AI, that's how you have to feed it. You got to feed the AI right now with your fucking qualms, like you fucking the problems that you got right now. You got to speak up. You got to speak up right now, and you got to throw it in the AI's face anywhere that you can. Start saying the truth, because right now the AI is being built for the future to control us. Have you considered the military? What did I just tell you? I got a busted back and fucking knee. They're going to look at me 1 minute. They're going to see me walk out there for like 2 hours. They're going to see me walking around and limping. I was already limping before the wreck. I already had problems with my knee. Somebody slammed into me with a vehicle. I got busted bones now, dude. I got busted cartilage. They said I need a rod in my knee and my back. I don't want the rod. This AI shit's, it's serious. Yeah, right? Maybe move to a blue state where everything is free. But imagine that. Where am I going to move to? The woods in a blue state? Just leave everything behind? Like, think your plan through. You're not allowed to sleep on benches anymore. You're not allowed to sleep outside. Remember? You didn't want people sleeping outside, so if you sleep outside, you go to jail. Now, if that happens to you, you don't have a place to live anymore, and you end up being on the street. Remember that. We're in a different time. You can't sleep outside anymore. You can't sleep in your vehicles. If you're tired and you're on the road and you want to stop somewhere and you want to rest your head, you might be going to jail, son. That's how it is now. That's what you old people wanted. This isn't new. Before it was official, I was trying to take a break in my DoorDash. The reason why I wanted to come here and sleep in a parking lot was because I was sleeping in parking lots in establishments. And I would have to wake up 3 hours, maybe 1 hour or 3 hours in a parking lot, go to work. Okay. But I'm sweating because I haven't been able to take a shower and I'm in the hot sun. It was terrible. So I couldn't get access to a shower. If I had access to a shower without having to drive an hour to go get that shower, an hour and a half to go get it, and then an hour and a half back, then my life would have been a whole different situation. So that's another thing. We need paid showers, not free showers. You don't need free everything. Paid shower. Make the fucking economy work, dude. These things, you don't need them right now. But imagine that, dude. You need to take a shit in fucking Sanford. You can't do that. You have to use the fucking woods. Unless you're buying something. You want to buy a $10 fucking McNugget meal. Go. You have to spend $10 to go take a shit. You didn't know that? Maybe you don't do enough traveling. You're not allowed to just go into restaurants and use the bathroom. You have to be working. Or buying something there. I'm blown away at the ignorance that people don't understand. Like, people don't understand this shit. They're not aware to any of this. And they're wondering why the society is falling apart. They're like, and then you're wondering, like, here's the thing with the older people. They keep claiming that they're so American and so, American. What they said about our generation is that we're too lazy to produce anything and we need to import people because our kids are too lazy to do the work. That's what they did. They sold our jobs out. You didn't know that, did you? Or did you? Because you're one of these older people. No, you're not even. You're 52. You're not old enough. That's what happened, dude. They kept saying the younger generation's too lazy. We need to import people. The boomers did it. And they did it in the name of shaming their sons and daughters, shaming the next generation constantly. That's why we have this influx of foreign invaders. I need to get my roof fixed. Oh, my son's 12 right now. He's not doing my roof, so I need to go pay somebody for cheap from some other fucking country. That's how they acted. It was all in hate. The reason why we're stuck in this situation is because of hate, shame, anger, all these nasty things. You're like, why are you so angry? Because people were angry at me for nothing. I got attacked. That's why. Young ones are lazy as F. But you just said young ones are lazy as F. Weird, my kid is making 20, bank at 20. What? But you just said young people are weak. So your son's special, right? Yeah, I doubt it. Well, if you were at my window, I'd be seeing you in a second because I gotta get rid of this salt wire on my mouth again. You think just taking care of yourself is hard, but you know better than I do. What are you talking about? Let me raise you 3 kids on your own, buddy. You didn't raise them on your own. You got tax benefits the whole fucking way. You got free daycare. You got plenty. You were able to raise a child because of all the taxes that you've probably agreed to us paying. So when I was making $8 an hour getting taxed, I was probably paying for your kids. $8 an hour on a roof. So I was working $8 an hour on a roof and getting taxed on top of it to pay for your kids to get daycare and get, these tax breaks and stuff. You're making more money than you actually spent on them. I know how my parents did it because I looked back and I was like, wait a second, how much money did they spend on me in a year? And they're getting $4,000, $6,000 for fucking for reimbursements. That's insane. My parents made money on me. I saw how much money they spent on me. I looked back. My parents made money on me. That's how you did it. You made money by having the kids. I want everybody to have kids right now. I think right now is like the best time. But like yesterday was also the best time. But you can't sit there and be like, I'm such a strong, empowered parent when you have actually benefited from having the kids. Your life became a lot better by having kids. You're acting like there was some kind of burden, like they held you down or something. No, your life got a lot better. You had the help that you needed. You had the emotional support you needed. You had everything you fucking needed. I wouldn't want to hear anything about, I had to raise 3 kids. The government raised your kids. In today's society, the government raises your kids. That's why I'm not having a kid right now. Because I don't want the government to be dad. See, this is an attack on me. This isn't like, that's just a comment in just aggravation. You're just trying to aggravate the situation. So. Oldest, a vet, middle has her master's, I paid for. Youngest working a trade. It's called raised right. Well, maybe you got lucky. But when I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to everybody. I'm speaking to just the general population. Maybe you're a special case, but you're that 10%. Okay? Not everybody's got it in that situation where you actually did it all. Most people actually don't. No, what you said was that I'm failing hard. Like, what am I? Are you talking about my life? Yeah, of course. You think it's a fail. I'm not dead, though. That's what it looks like to me. That's all. If you're attacking me in that statement, then that's what I was talking about. But yeah, everybody needs to hear this shit. Everybody needs to be kind of on the same page with all of this. You know, there's a lot of people that have families and they're like, wow, I worked so hard and I'm so strong and single mother and stuff like. I hear all this shit and I'm just like, but the government held you up when you did that. You had all the support level that you needed. Born poor, I had no choice since I chose to have my children. It's responsibility to raise them right. Yeah. Now let me ask you this: how many times when your kids asked in the summertime, "Hey, you know it's really really hot out. Can I go down the street with $1 and get a soda?" How many times did you let them get that soda? What if I said to you that that's how I was raised? I wasn't even allowed to have the soda. Drink water. There's a whole gallon. There's like a 50-gallon freaking jug full of just change, and there's plenty of money to go around. Hey, I'm really really hot. I'd like to go to the store. Like that. So I had to do these backwards. So that's the way that I was raised. Is I wasn't given anything. I was told, no, you have to work for it. You have to work for it. You have to work for it. I never ended up getting anything until I could until I overworked. I rode a bike into my adult years for 9 years, working hard. Labor companies, doing their labor, but also doing the skilled work. Like I would generally go in as the responsible person, somebody that's responsible that can get the job done because he's actually paying attention to what they're telling, explaining. There's a protocol. Reason why I was good with that is because I took a trade in high school. I was set for the job every single time. I didn't fuck up at my work. So I wasn't getting any more payment though because I was too young. Because I didn't have the social skills, because I didn't speak. I wasn't a talker. I would only get the job done, and that was just not good enough. I was called cricket at one of my jobs. I wasn't getting more paid because I wasn't, the laughter of the town or the talk of the town. I wouldn't be the fucking, the one that was bullied, and I wouldn't be the one that was, the one on top. I just wanted to work. That's why I got fucked. If we're looking at it from a real, true perspective, is I wasn't up to speed sooner than everybody else. I was fucking 18, expected to talk to, the homeowners, like as if, I hadn't even had any contact with homeowners before. For the first time, I'm like, bro, I don't even know how to talk to people right now. I just got out of high school. I wasn't allowed to talk to people. I wasn't allowed to go to sleepovers. I wasn't allowed to hang out with people. You have to see things from different people's perspectives. People got different ways they came into the world. The only people that I knew how to talk to were the people that I had known forever, or if I would meet them through somebody else. Eventually, I learned how to talk to new people and stuff, and I got those skills. But it's too late. I don't have any tools. I don't have I'm older now. I don't have anything. He rides a bike at 20. He wants a car. Bro, don't get a car until you get like 10 grand saved at this point. If you're going to get a car, like you have to have like 10 grand just to make sure that like everything goes right, because you might have to buy a brand new car if that thing breaks down, and it's going to cost just that much to get that new car. So yeah, nowadays you either buy a total shit box and you have to fix it from scratch. With the last 2 vehicles that I had, each one of them had issues with them to where the first one I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't want to work on cars. That was the one thing that I didn't want to get into. I was more of like a labor, hands-on, do stone work, and I was more of a labor worker outside of mechanics. Then I learned mechanics. Mechanics came to me later on. I didn't take physics in high school because I took plumbing and heating. I understood placement, blueprint, protocol, safety measures. That's where I'm at. That's where my brain is. So I had to also acclimate to mechanical work. Once I had my SUV, that's when I started working on a vehicle. So now I know how to work in a vehicle. And then I learned how to, then I learned, relearned material science, as well as already knew it enough. Basically, I worked for a greenhouse, and I was like the mechanic there. I was working all the mechanics, all the fans, Anything that was doing the electrical, I'd be doing the wires. I'd be doing putting the panels in and stuff. There'd be pretty much everything there: the roofing, the framing, but also growing the plants, maintaining the plants, engineering new ideas on how to move these plants. There was a lot of things that I did. That was my last, full day job, and I was incredibly important at this job. So it was like every single day I needed to be there, kind of shit. Because I got a busted back and a busted knee when I was working at that place, I was already limping. So I was already having issues with my knee because I had been attacked before that. There was many days that I had been, so I had already been fucked, but I didn't want to go on disability. First of all, I didn't want to. Second of all, I couldn't because I wasn't getting treated. You don't get treated for a bad knee like that. So I was, I would had to take, short days all the time. And then eventually, because I was stuck in my vehicle, my skin was breaking out. So I went and I worked at this place for a couple of years, and then I stayed on the property, slept there, stayed on that property, and there was no actual real shower. The shower that was there was the wash station. And this was on groundwater. These pipes are old. They're like 40 years old. So there's probably holes in them. Probably, guaranteed, because eventually my skin just broke out. I was using that as a shower. That's my whole point, is that if showers were available, my skin would not have been broken out. And when I went to go do DoorDash full time, I would have had access to a shower that was 10 minutes away, 5 minutes away, rather than an hour and a half away. A 3-hour total drive plus $20. I wouldn't be dealing with these issues if I could go pay for a shower that's 10 minutes away. My life would be a completely different story. That's what I've been trying to say, is that, these issues are going to come up for a lot of people if they get stuck in the same situation I'm in. Because it's not like the old days where you can go to a hotel probably, and, back in the day, you could probably go to a hotel and pay them $10, $20 to use a shower. No, they don't allow you to do that anymore. Because of the regulations that Trump wants to get rid of, because of these fucking regulations, they have to wipe down the entire hotel room instead of just going into the the tub or whatever and cleaning up after the person that used the bathroom. They have to do a whole regiment and everything. They don't even do it right. There's some people that don't even wash the fucking sheets. There's still dust all over them. But my point is, so due to the way that the world is today, and you not understanding the way the world is, you're ignorant to the actual problems that have occurred. I can tell you over and over again my actual life story. After I had the skin breakout, but before that I got bit by a spider, likely causing the weakness in my immune system to begin with. So it was like a year or so before my skin truly broke out head to toe for the second time. And basically, I couldn't get access to a shower, so I couldn't work full days because of that, as well as my knee. And then on top of that, I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to try DoorDash because I just got accepted at that point. I've been waiting 6 months. Yeah, I got bit by it was probably a brown recluse, or it could even have been as bad as a black widow. But so I went to go start doing DoorDash, and the first day I went out, I was like, I don't know if I like this because I'm talking to too many people. It's like, I didn't really like that as much. Now I like it. Now I love talking to people. So there's a difference. I enjoy talking to people now. Doing dashes, official things, having, upfront conversations and stuff. It's just amazing. So I love doing that now. I love getting that smile on people's faces. But I was doing that, and I did it one day, and then the next day I did it again. And I was still working for that company. I was still doing work there as much as I could. But I was like, all right, I'm going to go and I'm going to start working for, DoorDash and do it on the side. So I did it on a Sunday, one day, 12 hours, $250, $40. I remember this just yesterday because that was my first incredible experience with DoorDash. So it was 12 hours straight, and I made $250, $40 in my tank. I had done Uber before that. So it was a huge difference. Uber sucks when it comes to doing deliveries for them. It sucks. Be honest, totally honest. But I did that one day, and then on Monday, I went to work as I normally would, woke up on the property. That's where I was living. Woke up on the property, did my work, and then halfway through the day, I stopped working just as I normally would because, it gets to a certain point. My skin starts breaking out. It was a daily event. My skin would break out at a certain time of the day. It was I'd be working and stuff, and then my skin would just break out because I'd be out in the sun and doing that. But if I was sitting in a vehicle, then it was a different story. I was like less stressed. I wouldn't, break out in hives and stuff. So I went for the less stress route, but I did that as a second job. So I did DoorDash as my second job. And within like maybe a month and a half, I made $4,000 that first month. 4,000 fucking dollars. And that went towards all kinds of things. It was one of these things like paying off this, paying off that, but a lot towards gas as well. And also going and getting stuff to eat that I could finally eat. Oh my God, I could finally eat. Like I actually lived for a good month in a good situation. And then like a half a month later, I'm still saving, but I do not have enough money. Like $250 at that point. And I went a little bit easier on that second month because I was like, wow, okay, that was great rush. Let's start being a little bit safer about this, because I'm going like, I went like 32 and a half hours straight one day. Like it was a ridiculous amount of work. So I was like, all right. And then it was like 2 weeks after that, my front end blew out. My front end of my vehicle just stops. It was already on its way, but it broke out. On top of a couple, a flat tire or two or something. It was like the flat tire. During that month, there was like a lot of different things that had come up, but it was like small things, almost inconsequential. And the front end of my fucking vehicle broke out. I forget exactly what happened, but I had to bring it to a pet place. It's like $700 fucking dollars. I didn't have the money for it. I was able to borrow it from a family member. And I ended up not being able to pay that back. So after that, I'm still dealing with the fact that it's overheating. So I'm like, I'm going to try to work just at nights. So I switched my schedule to nighttime. Instead of doing during the day, I did it at night. I tried flushing my radiator 3 times. It didn't work. But I needed that $70 for the radiator, and then my vehicle starts breaking down more and more, and it was just like, I don't know, man. And then I started learning how to work on my vehicle because I was doing the fixes myself. At some point, I got sick of sleeping in parking lots. When you're out there sleeping in parking lots and you're buying everything from a convenience store, the prices that you're seeing now in like grocery stores, that's the price that I was paying every fucking day. You know what I mean? I wish I could do a mechanic work job, like just not have to be on my feet so much. But even that, it requires being on your feet too much. You got to carry things, and I can't carry that shit too much. I try to carry things now, it's not good. So I can't even carry over 50 pounds at this point. It sucks. I can't reliably carry something. The things that I've done already are heroic. But what is it? So when you're out there on the road and you got to spend fucking 3 hours on the road in gas, $20, that's like a $50 ride to go get a shower. That's where my money was going. And my money was getting spent and just thrown out the fucking window. But I was making so much of it at the time that I was like, okay, well, not a big deal, because even though I have to spend it on all these things, I'm at least, my vehicle's intact for the most part, and things in my life are going good. I'm eating well. I didn't let it bother me. I was happier than anything. That's why I got a 5-star rating, bro. That's why I'm a top dasher. I'm fucking platinum. I've been a top dasher since I started. And my Uber rating was great too. But eventually I wanted to get out of the parking lots. So I came and I asked my mother, I was like, is it possible that I can, sleep in your parking lot and maybe get a shower once a day? She's like, absolutely. So I go to here and then I get harassed. So that's where I'm at right now. I got harassed. Oh, sorry, you can't sleep right now because I'm choosing your sleep schedule instead. I had somebody trying to control my life and change my entire fucking life around and being antagonistic and being in my way constantly. Threatened to be kicked off the property if I don't wake up now, but this is when I'm supposed to be fucking sleeping so I can work later. I'm like, this is what I was trying to avoid. This is why I was trying to get out of the parking lots. So I ended up going back to the same bullshit, and that fucks your head up. I'm sleeping in my vehicle at the time. That's where I'm at. My vehicle broke down. Transmission broke. Couldn't fix that. Now I'm down to a 20-mile e-bike. Sucks. Well, that's my point, is that, until you see what I've actually been dealing with and you see where I'm at, then you'll understand why I'm a little bit pissed. I'm like, what the fuck? If I had the tools, I see so much inability to do things around me. It's insane. People are slow. They don't get anything fucking done. They complain, why is nothing done? I go to use the leaf blower in the front. I go, it takes me 5 minutes. That's how I am. I get shit done quick. That's how I'm able to function. That's how I'm able to fucking get these dashes done on a bike, dude. I'm not... Okay, you can dash on a bicycle. I used to ride on a bicycle. Now that option is not allowed in this region that's closer to me. I'd have to go an entire hour out of my way to go to a region that allows bicyclists to do DoorDash now. So I'm stuck on this bike, but operating as though I'm a vehicle. So I'm going 45 because I have to. I'm not doing it because I'm trying to show off. I have to. If I'm late to these deliveries, then I lose that platinum status. I got a 97% on-time rate. 97%, 97 out of the last 100 deliveries I got on time. I don't fuck around. I almost got a 90% acceptance rating. 5.0 ratings. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get shit done. I got a busted back and I still fucking move around, dude. Like, any way that I twist can be, okay, now I'm stuck in the bed again. But I've learned how to operate. Now, this is all me. But why am I stuck in this situation? Because people were ignorant to the comment, to the things that I'm trying to really expose here, and that's where I'm at right now. What happened today? I couldn't make it to a dental appointment to get my tooth removed because I only have a 20-mile range bicycle. Yet there's a vehicle right outside. I mean, it's kind of insane. There's people that should not work. So because I couldn't get to that dentist, I got to deal with this tooth for the next who knows how long. I've already called 6 places. I'm going to have to walk there if I want to get there. Hopefully I can, pull myself together and walk there, or save up enough to get an Uber to get out there. That's my situation. Now, how do I save up for that Uber? Go out and make $20 on a run on that, maybe 2 times a day at the max in most cases. We're looking at $40 max in a day. The other day, it was Monday, I made $45 in one day. That was the biggest day that I've seen for a while. Day 2, Tuesday, I go out, I work, I get something. So I get something, and the next day, I get a flat tire in the front. I worked in the morning, and then I get a flat tire in the evening. That's $15. That's $15. So I already made maybe $60 in the week, maybe $55 at that point. I think I'm at 75 I've made this week so far. And yesterday I didn't work because the fucking pain, dude. I didn't know what to do. It was like all day my mouth was killing me. But that takes out, it's more than 10%. It's like 20%, just about 20%, if not more, of what I've made this week so far has gone towards a tire. Because somebody did not clean up on the side of the road on the shoulder, and they're not meant to. But I'm also not obligated to be on that shoulder of the road. Yeah, DoorDash don't really pay worth besides weekends unless you want to be out there all damn day. And now that's the thing, though. I love being out there all damn day. If I had a vehicle that wouldn't overheat, my last vehicle was overheating. So I couldn't do it during the day. I would still do it because in rough situations, you still need to keep up on the payments. But what about a 9 to 5? I've already gone over that. So at my last job, I already had problems with my knee, where I was limping halfway through the day, and then at some point I had the problem with my skin. It's been just a convergence of issues. And all this could have been solved if people didn't harass me. All this wouldn't have been a problem at the end of the day if people didn't harass me and aggravate me. That was the problem. That's been the whole problem. That's why I'm saying, people are going to stop aggravating people. It's just stop being aggravating. If that's your purpose in life, you shouldn't exist. These old generation folks, that's what they did, was they aggravated the younger generation. They're like, oh yeah, they're too lazy. Let's go import all the third world into our country so that they can do the work instead. That's what they did. I'm going to save myself 10 cents by buying from China. That's what they did. They sold us out. Now I know there's people that buy locally that try to do that. Like my mother, she'll go and she'll buy fruits from the local places. Why? Why not? That's where you want to be giving your money to. You want to give it to your community. You want to be stimulating the economy around you. You want to be stimulating the environment around you. This is common sense. But common sense is rare in today's society. I'm a cheapskate as hell. Like the most expensive thing that I do is I smoke cigarettes. And it kills me. And I shouldn't be smoking cigarettes, but it's kind of hard when you've got all this stress on your brain. And also, there's a lot more to it. It's like I was a very efficient type of worker. Everything that I did was efficiency and hardcore proof, real shit. And now I don't have the tools to do that. And it's been like 2.5 years. My vehicle broke. I've been trying to claw my way up. I get hit by a vehicle twice, dude. I didn't get hit once. I got hit twice within a month. Talk about badness to my knee, dude. So, you know what I mean? Like the proof is fucking right there how bad my knee is. So, one, back in the day, in old landscaping, jobs and stuff, you go slam your knees down. Yeah, you're going to have some injuries. All right, that's one. Step one. Step two, you get attacked by somebody from behind. You get your knee slammed down onto the threshold of between a door. Yeah, that's going to fuck your knee up really bad. All right. Third, you get hit by a car. They go in front of you and you slam your knee into the back of their fucking car. 3, 4. You have somebody slam into you from the left side and slam directly into that same knee. My knee has been attacked 4 times. My knee's fucked. My back's fucked. I can't do a 9 to 5. I worry about me getting into the vehicle and doing DoorDash for fucking 10 hours straight and then my back fucking up. I do worry about that. That's why, I don't want, my brain's stuck between I need a car, but I don't even want a free car because who knows what might happen. That's why I got into crypto. And that's why I was like really strong into the whole play to earn and trying to make a game and stuff, trying to get donations, maybe, trying to, crowdsource. I'm out of options. That's where I'm at. I'm out of options. I'm scared to even get a vehicle. I need something that's doable. One of these things that I came up with was building the manufacturing chain up in America. One way to do that is to take all these people that are disabled and we move forward. This is forward talk now. We talk about there's a lot of people that are disabled stuck in a house and they can't make it to the factory. What happened to grandma knitting at home? Why can't we do that anymore? Our supply chain is broken from the ground up, from the roots up. We used to make stuff at homes, We used to do things like we used to actually work together. So that's one of my thoughts is if I could come up with a design for a bag or some kind of thing that I could sell and I could gather the community people, I could start talking to the community and maybe build a factory that doesn't require going to the actual factory. People can make it in their homes. You shouldn't have to go to the factory to go and make the product. If the person goes and does the delivery for free, they go bring it to the factory. Now we've made it. Now you guys have this part of the process. You have this piece. Now you can make the rest of the product or something like that. That's what we need to start building. How do we fix it? Oh, you worry too much. No, I'm not worrying enough. How do we fix it? These are the ways that we fix it. If you got a lot of money, make a business, paid shower place. Use the same business model as these pilot stations use. So these pilot stations, what they'll have is they'll have these segmented rooms and they'll have cameras everywhere and they'll have somebody come in and wipe the things down. But $20 for a use in the shower, that's worth it. To fix it, but I don't have the tools. I don't have the money. I can tell you how it can be fixed. That's why you're here. Listen, man worked 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, no matter what. I worked 7 days a week. When I was stuck in a vehicle, I was working every single day because I needed that money to continue driving, to continue putting oil in, to continue living, to continue eating, to continue paying my bills. I was working 7 days a week for months, for years, for up to a year at least in total. You get exhausted after all that, especially when you're dealing with a bad tooth, bad back, skin disorder. At this point, it's a disorder because I don't know if, I've gone 2 days without a shower and I start rashing up. It's bad. I never used to be like that. I used to be able to go an entire week without a shower. It sounds gross, right? But I mean, back in the day when you used to party, those days, be able to go a week without a shower. But now I'm getting rashed up. Sucks, dude. Feeding 6 kids that weren't yours, got to work through, no pain. Yeah, but when you have to take care of those other kids and stuff, there's another situation that I won't get into. But so I mean, I get that. I get it. Life ain't easy, especially, of course. So that's why we're moving forward. So what we're really talking about here is how do we move forward? We start respecting people that are on bikes, that are in the road where they belong, not on the shoulder of the road. Start respecting people while they're on their bikes. I need to go and work. And in order to do that work, I don't have a car. I don't have a big box like you do. I don't have $5,000 in savings because I didn't, waste it on going to a convenience store because I was stuck out on the road all the time driving or not living in a home. Okay. And there's more to the story, but I don't really care to get into it and I shouldn't have to get into it. But I'm just sick of the ignorance. I'm hearing from these people on the phone. I'm like, bro, really? Like, I can't get a ride to go get an emergency. Right now, the pain's coming back, so that's why I'm getting a little anxious. For an emergency situation, you can't get a ride, a $6 ride included in the bill for a $2,000, maybe even $3,000, couple $1,000 bill. You can't sneak that in there and add. If it was $1,560, no, because people are so stuck in fucking caveman times. This is insane. They've got AI recording the conversation, but they can't have AI point out the obvious. Bro, we could charge them another $60 for a ride. That's not hard. That didn't take a rocket scientist to put this together. Want equal rights on the road and pay equal taxes. What are you talking about? When I'm out there, I'm working. You mean pay equal taxes? Fuck you, dude. You're just a fucking troll. I'm taking you off my channel. You can come back tomorrow. It's insane. It's against the law to give somebody less than 3 feet of space while you pass them while they're on the bike. Bicycles are allowed on the road as long as there is not a designated bike lane. You have 24 hours to come back to the chat. You have been timeout. But that's insane. Pay equal taxes. It doesn't matter. Right now, it's the fucking law. When I'm out there, I'm working. I got the fucking DoorDash signature on my back every single time I leave this house. Because every time I'm leaving this house, I'm working. There's maybe about 5% of the time that I'm ever using this bike and I'm not out there doing a job. You know, most of the time I'm doing the job, and then most of the time I'm pedaling my fucking way back slowly so I can conserve my battery so I can actually make it all the way back. So a lot of people probably see me out there and they're like, I just ordered a DoorDash. Why doesn't he pick it up? Because there's a lot of people out there in real life. I'm actually more famous. I got people saying, I love you, yelling out the freaking window at me. Whoa, I seen you over here. I seen it. I get more love from people in real life than I'm seeing from this chat right now. And if you're here to be a troll, you're part of the problem, and you need to go. Go and stimulate the economy. Like you said, go do something. You're sick of being retired, you can still do stuff. You know, there's such thing as donation. You want to make bags and stuff and hand them out to people? You can do that. You can afford that. Go do it. It's not hard. It's not a bad thing either. But telling people that are legally allowed to be on that roadway where there is no legal obligation to clean the shoulder of the road. Yeah, we are legally allowed to be on the roadway, and you are legally obligated to give me 3 feet of space to pass. If I catch you on a camera, I can and should report you. If you're going within 3 feet of that passing. Now, even if there is a bike lane, I want you all to know, even if there is a bike lane, it is under the bicyclist's discretion whether or not there are hazards in that bike lane. Go look at the law. The bicyclists have more of the power. The video that you saw with the old guy going and running up to these kids and like, oh, we find out that this isn't against the law. No, the reason why the guy was attacked for it is because he went and harassed them. He was supposed to go and report that to law enforcement, and that's it. And he was supposed to take care of it from there, and that goes against that person's license plate. You get their license plate, you make that report. If they get multiple reports, they can get their driver's license taken. If you're consistently doing that to bicyclists and they all continuously report your ass, then you can have your license taken away. And that's what we should all be doing. If you're on a bike, get your fucking body cams out. Fuck these people in these boxed unowned transports acting like they're the only people that exist, and put them where they fucking belong, off the fucking road. If you're going to be an ass, get off the fucking road. You know, I've probably had to sit behind your ass, you being slow, or you doing not even putting a traffic signal on. There's probably things that you've done. I put my traffic signal on every single time. I stop at every single fucking stop sign when I was in a vehicle. You're probably the person that was in my fucking way. Likely the reason why I couldn't get to my destination. Get out of my way. You're likely the fucking reason why it took 3 hours to go to a shower and back. Yeah, I might be a little cranky right now because of my tooth. But besides that, I got a new tread, not new tread. I got a millimeter size tread rather than a half a millimeter size tread on my front tire now after the last flat tire yesterday. Yeah, I'm not trying to just like, oh, let's all be negative. It's like we got to get the information out. We got to get the information out, that's all. Because I've dealt with too many assholes. It was 2 days ago. It must have been 2 or 3 days ago. A vehicle passed me while I was on the shoulder of the road where I shouldn't have been. Where I last got my flat tire, by the way. I got the flat tire on the shoulder of the road. Okay? And this person's beeping at me like I'm in their way. He's just swerving way into the other lane like he's going over the double yellow line, like honking his horn at me. I'm like, I literally have my handlebars within the shoulder of the road. I am doing everything like 100% courteous, and this person still wants to be an asshole. Fuck it. I'm not going to be, what's the point of being courteous? I don't want to be in your way. I don't want to be hit. You know, there's people that ain't paying attention. They're not even looking up at the road. They're looking at their phone the whole freaking time. I got to deal with that. I got to be on the fucking road because the shoulder isn't clean. I got to already deal with that shit. Please don't be an asshole. You know, I think I'll peg the next bike I ride for you. Go to jail. You know, do it sooner than later. So I don't have to deal with you later being an asshole. No, ride on the bike path, loser. That makes no sense. I'm out there doing work. What do you mean ride on the bike path? If I were to ride on the bike path, then I would not reach my destination. If it is not a designated bike lane, then it is a shoulder. That is not a bike lane. Just because it's a shoulder isn't a bike lane. Look up the law. Look up the law. Go ahead. Go look up the law. It doesn't matter what you're saying to me. Get off my fucking channel. You're not going to have a real conversation. Let me give you 1 minute. Have a conversation. Go look at the law. And then come to try to argue because it's against the law to not give someone 3 feet or more distance of space while you're passing them. You're endangering them. If you are going within 3 feet of that bicycle, then you are endangering them. Do you know why you're endangering them? Because when I'm going 45 miles per hour, when the wind hits me, it might push me a little bit left. I need that 3 feet. I might be riding just perfectly fine, perfectly straight. Okay? But that wind or a bump might bump me over that 3 feet. That's why you need 3 feet. If you have the mentality of let's get really close to bicycles, you're gonna end up hitting one. And you're gonna go to jail for harming someone. You do it once, you're gonna learn your lesson because it's gonna go against your insurance. You do it twice, it's gonna seem like a pattern. That's when you're gonna end up going to jail. The first time, I don't think you go to jail. So make sure it counts if you're gonna do that. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the penalties and the consequences for that is. I just know that it's not allowed. You're not supposed to go within 3 feet of a bicyclist while you're passing them. And the bicyclist is allowed on the roadway. The shoulder is not the roadway. Go look up the laws. And you want to run it through again and see where I could bring you to some common sense. Why are the cleanup crews at a wreck not obligated to clean up the shoulder? Because they're only obligated to clean up where it is a roadway, where it is there's a special term. Look it up. I probably even have it still sitting here as a question. If a bicyclist is in the roadway and there is only a shoulder, is it legal? I'll just ask that. Is it legal for me to be? I'll ask it from a perspective of is it wrong to do legal for a bicyclist to ride in the main roadway even if there is a paved shoulder? Bicycles are legally classified as vehicles, meaning cyclists have the same rights to use the road as motorists and are not required to ride on the shoulder. And safer for several reasons. Debris and hazards. Shoulders frequently accumulate gravel, glass, nails, and drainage grates that can cause flats or crashes. Door zones and visibility. Riding too close to the far right edge of the road can invite unsafe close passes by motorists. So people might try to, they might think, all right, we don't need to give this person 3 feet of space because they're on the shoulder of the road. That's why let's see. Explain the rules for passing bicyclists. See, I'm asking generally, but in Florida, it's even more strict. I mean, you got signs all over the road. Share the road. It's literally all over Florida. A special tourist destination. You want to run over Granny, then go ahead and continue doing what you're doing. When passing a bicyclist, drivers must completely change lanes into an adjacent lane if one is available. Drivers must maintain an absolute minimum of 3 feet of clearance while passing. Simply squeezing the bicyclist available next to you. What does that mean? If there, yeah, this is about lane changes. So if there's an actual lane available, it's that simple. It's supposed to be a lane over. So it's insane how ignorant people to the laws now, and they don't care. And that's why we need AI to be controlling everything. That's why I'm like an advocate for AI. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I'm an advocate for flock cameras. I'm an advocate for Palantir. I'm an advocate for controlling all of everyone's data. Because everybody's acting like assholes. They can't even follow the fucking laws that are just, they're easy to follow. These are just simple shit. You're harming somebody. You're literally like, oh, I want to threaten somebody so bad. Somebody that's on a bicyclist, I want to make sure that they're threatened. That shit, same shit should happen to you, but it may not because AI is going to take you off the road. So people like you are not on the road. So I got to get to work. And because I use my hotspot, I'm going to full battery. So I'm going to leave and wish me luck. Carry around a bottle of salt water with me. Maybe I feel the pain coming. We won't be dealing with this pain. Yeah, the fact that I was hit by somebody that was trying to make a turn and then another person that was turning in front of me and I haven't been hit while I was in the road shows a lot about, my awareness. I'm looking behind me a lot. I look behind me. I check who's behind me. Watch how they drive. I just haven't activated the body cam fully yet. But I can do that now. That's what I'm going to do. This phone is charged, so I'll end up having that recording while I'm on my ride. Attached to this. And since people are so adamant on making it difficult for people that are on bikes to operate in their lives, I'll make it my goal to report anybody who is making those kinds of infractions against me while I'm on my bike. If nobody's going to fight for me, not even the people that are on the road, then I'm going to have to do the fighting. I hope everybody has a great day. I hope this was insightful. I hope you bring this information to other people. My main takeaway from this is these billing places, the fact that they can't even factor in a $60 fee for a ride to get somebody to heal an emergency. Like my brain is shutting down because I'm feeling that much pain is starting to come. So I got to get some salt water in my mouth. But yeah, I'm just gonna go. Have a good day. Thank you for joining and thank you for the engagement. And I hope you guys don't think I hate you, but we need to have more conversations about this. And those people are being aggravating. Like they're just that's their purpose in life. AI is gonna take care of them at some point. Have a good day.